The Sunrisers Hyderabad slump in the IPL 2005 continues. They've now lost 4 games on the trot out of 5, whereas for the Gujarat Titans, it continues on a very strong, solid start that, well, sees them very much in the mix for a playoff spot, despite the fact that it is still very much early days in the Indian Premier League. But this match had plenty of talking points, and let's quickly get to them one by one, because that's what we're here to do in this particular video. And talking point number 1, the renaissance of Mohammad Siraj. Now, coming into this edition of the IPL, Siraj had plenty to prove, and boy, has he proved that ever. His figures of 4 for 17 in this particular match were not only his best ever figures in the IPL, but also saw him reach the milestone of 100 wickets in the IPL. Now, why it is that this was such an important performance for Siraj is that he came into this particular IPL with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. He had been dropped by his long-serving team, the Royal Challengers Bengaluru. He had been dropped from the Indian team for the Champions Trophy, and so therefore he felt like that he needed to remind everyone just what he was capable of. Of course, it helps that he seems to be a more rounded bowler now and is being effective both in the power plays as well as in the death, which is making him a far more complete and dangerous package than he would have been in previous IPL, something he incidentally credited to the fact that he could use saliva on the ball again so that it wasn't skidding and he was getting some late tail movement later on in the innings. Well, whatever it is, it's good to see Siraj bowling the way he has been. And it isn't just the bowling that deserved credit. Truth be told, Gujarat's batting, and this is talking point number 2, was absolutely incredible because this was not the easiest of pitches to bat on. When we think of the IPL Stadium in Hyderabad, we do generally tend to think of it as being a bit of a batter's paradise because that's what it's been for the past 3-4 seasons. But this was a lot truer to how it is that we remember the Hyderabad track playing. It was a little bit on the slowish side and you needed to get your eyes set in before you could actually get down to hitting big shots. That is something that Gujarat's batters, whether it be Shubman Gill, whether it be Washington Sundar, or even Shafin Rutherford coming lower down the order, did very, very well. And therefore, it's no surprise that they ended up absolutely romping home to victory and putting further woes on the Sunrisers Hyderabad. But the real problem, and this is talking point number 3, when you're talking about SRH, is that their approach just hasn't seemed adaptable at all. In fact, after the game against KKR, skipper Pat Cummins had said that the batters need to reassess their thinking, let's say, and see how it is that they play based on the conditions rather than just looking to hit out on every single ball. Now, of course, he walked back those comments later on in some videos posted on Sunrisers' social accounts because he said that the kind of batters that they have, the best way for them to actually play would be to be looking to be aggressive all the time. That's what they tried in this match, and given the conditions were not conducive to that kind of batting, it's no surprise it didn't work out. Travis Head's struggles continued. Abhishek Sharma only got a start but couldn't do much beyond that, and the rest of the batting lineup had too much of a burden to shoulder, and in the end it proved far too much for them to do to actually set a competitive total. They were unable to do that, and therefore the fact that they lost to a far better rounded and more condition-specific GT batting, they were able to do much better. And SRH really need to reassess this approach because the going bang-bang approach at this point in time isn't working for them, especially because you're not getting, let's say, uniform conditions in the IPL. Why it worked out a lot for them in the previous season is because almost every pitch was very batter-friendly regardless of where they went. This time around, you're seeing a little bit more assistance for bowlers, whether it be seamers in some conditions or the spinners in some conditions, and that has made life a little difficult for the SRH batters. Those are the major talking points from this particular match. What were your thoughts on the matches? You can let us know that in the comments below, and don't forget to follow Republic World and Republic Sport Fit for more such interesting content from the world of sport.